Hello and welcome to News Central Television. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now the top stories this hour. Tinubu directs military to restructure operations amid rising concerns following Borno massacre. And petroleum workers vow to continue strike amid Dangote labor dispute. Nepali Prime Minister resigns as death toll from anti-corruption protest rises to 21. Details coming up shortly. Now we begin the news in Borno State following President Bola Tinubu's order, a sweeping overhaul of military operations after a deadly Boko Haram attack in Borno State that left at least 63 people dead, including 5 soldiers. Vice President Kashim Shettima, speaking on behalf of the president, expressed condolences to the victims' families and said the federal government will intensify security efforts. This includes deploying advanced military hardware and drones to combat terrorist threats nationwide. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum also visited Dara Jamal village, pledging support for resettlement and additional protection for displaced families. And away from that, fuel scarcity fears are mounting as NUPENG's nationwide depot shutdown enters a second day, disrupting supply across all hubs in Lagos, Warri and Rivers. The strike stems from Dangote Refinery's attempt to ban unionization of its workers, as action, the union says, violates Nigerian labor laws and international conventions. Now, NUPENG President Williams Akporeha accused Dangote of trying to monopolize and enslave Nigerian workers by denying their right to organize. Labour Minister Muhammad Dingyadi confirmed that talks collapsed after Dangote's representatives walked out of negotiations on Monday night. Meanwhile, the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria is closing ranks with NUPENG over the Dangote Petroleum Refinery's plan to take over supply of petroleum products directly to end users. The association says that bypassing the traditional distribution chain will make suppliers and tanker drivers redundant, leading to widespread job losses and further destabilizing the oil and gas sector. Nogasa, during a press conference in Abuja, while calling on President Bola Tinubu to intervene in the situation, says that it will maintain its current distribution structure. Joining us now is Mr. Tunji Abdulhamid, lawyer and public affairs analyst. Mr. Tunji, you are welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the 3 o'clock bulletin. Would like to know, why is the issue of unionizing tanker drivers at the Dangote Refinery so central to this dispute? What does the law say about workers forming or joining recognized unions?
Yeah, thank you for having me once again. I think if you're looking at our law, every members of a company or employer with over 50 or 50 plus member can become a union. But becoming a union or having a member becoming a union is voluntary. The employers cannot force you to join or not to join a union. And also you also have you have the willingness to either join or not join. And if you join, you are under you must be registered by if a union is done by a particular group. For that union to be recognized, they must be registered with register of trade union. So if that is done, you have the right to fight for your people. But the issue on ground now is that, look, there is a union already for tankers. Dangote do not want his member to join that union. Rather, he wants to form his own union. I think for me, it's an aberration. It's an aberration in the sense that, look, you cannot be a judge in your own case. Indirectly, you will be the employer, you will still be the controller of the union. Although there is an agreement that the unions are not being formed by him, that it is the employees that are forming the union. We also have the information that Dangote made it compulsory for any of them who wants to be work with him to sign an undertaking, not to join the existing union. So I think for me that is against the law. Section 40 of the law of our constitution give everybody freedom to associate. You have the right to associate and join the union. What Dangote is trying to do is like bankers saying a particular bank saying I have large number of staffs, therefore I will not be joining the bankers. I will create my own, and they will be doing our own. That's not go well for the system. If they can form it if it's registered by the Register of Trade Union, which I think is going to be difficult in that regard. But I don't know about this Dangote, whether it be registered by the Register of Trade Union. If it's registered, then the trade union itself is creating crisis in that regard.
Well, Mr. Abdulhamid, I'm going to come back to the situation regarding the union, whether they can't form unions under Dangote's employ. But with depots shutting down and tanker drivers refusing to lift fuel now, how soon could this strike trigger widespread fuel scarcity and even price hikes?
As soon as there's no longer fuel at the filling station, there will be scarcity. Even if they have fuel, Nigerians, they will hold it and then make it difficult for people to get. And that's why it's paramount that the government get involved so that it will be resolved speedily. Because fuel is an essential commodity for everybody. We all use it. Even those who don't have car, they use fuel in Nigeria.
So, Mr.
It's very, very issue that the government should take seriously.
Okay. So let me go back to the case of unions, whether not to be or not to be. Let's talk about unions and their penchant for strikes. So if unions and strikes are considered a legitimate industrial tool, they're free to associate, like you said. At what point does the economic damage, which Dangote is actually trying to forestall, outweigh the labor rights being defended? Because according to Dangote, he simply wants smooth processes when it comes to delivery of products that doesn't go the way that we see it now through these unions. And at the beck and call of their whims and caprices, they might want to go on strike today or tomorrow. So at what point does that outweigh the labor rights being defended here?
You see, no matter what your interests are, your objective is or are, it must be in line with the law. The laws allow everybody to have freedom of association. And you cannot say because you want to prevent people from going on strike or from taking certain steps that would affect your business or economy, you just want to run against the law. They must run in line with the law. The law is the law. If we look sentiment, I hear people talk about sentiment and emotion. I'm not saying the labor union don't have their own flaws, but you see, at this instance, this particular case that we're talking about, they are trying to prevent future damage. People will not see it now. It is when those workers now became, under Dangote's custody, and they are now being maltreated like a slave. That's when they will now be shouting. This time now, when they are looking for a job, when people are saying, look, you cannot enter into this kind of job because of this situation or this situation, they will see them as being unnecessarily difficult or trying to create a problem. But the issue is that it's for future, what's it called? Because by the time Dangote realize that he is the one in charge and they cannot join another, nobody can fight for them except themselves. They will be under his control and they will be treating them the way he like. They will become like a slave. So we must not say because I hear people say Dangote has come to rescue us. We have not been hearing strike all this while. Yes, you may not be, but you cannot come and say because you are a businessman, you take over our business. Even the unionism, the trade tanker job, and you say you want to take away from people who are doing the tanking work, you want to be doing it by yourself. If there is no distribution of work among people, the wealth or economic whatever benefits will concentrate on one side, which is on the Dangote side this time around, because it will be taking all the benefits. Those who are doing transportation business will lose their jobs. It will not help our economy at long run. It will only benefit Dangote to an extent. People, I'm not going by sentiment. The law allows them to voluntarily join a union or not to join a union. And Dangote has no power to force anybody, or no employer has no power to force anybody to be a member of union or not to be a member of union. And if you want to do a union as Dangote or whatever, you must join the existing union. Even if when they form this union they are forming, if it's allowed by it's registered, they will be under the trade union and labor union. They must operate with them.
All right.
They can't be in isolation.
All right, then, Mr. Tunji.
That is the position. Yeah. So it's not about sentiment. It's not about emotion. It's about the law. And it's about preventing future slavery.
Well, Mr. Tunji Abdulhamid, want to say thank you for giving us the details about the law as it regards unionization when it comes to the issue of the tanker drivers. Thank you very much, Tunji.